City game, pretty tough environment. We talked about a lot the last couple weeks, kind of how where the stepping up from the big men is going to be, like career or at least Liberty career high minutes. So can you take us through a little bit, what your body's feeling like after taking in, kind of starting to play a whole lot more here as of late?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, quality opponent. I feel like every opponent in Conference USA is a tough battle, but yeah, felt good. My body doesn't feel too bad. I'm just excited to go and do it again. So yeah.
Where do you feel like
both of you guys slide up just a little bit?
Yeah.
Where do you feel like now you kind of get your feet back underneath you? You've gotten all these game reps. Where now do you feel like, okay, this is where I need to grow the most, or this is the area that I have most room to improve moving forward? Do you kind of break it down like that in your own mind?
Yeah, I would say something. I mean, obviously that we need and I can bring is rebounding, and just playing good defense and everything else will come with that. So that's kind of what I focus on, just trying to bring a toughness, rebounding, and yeah, I don't really focus on too much else other than that because it just kind of comes naturally. Our offense has been flowing pretty well, so yeah, just defensively and rebounding.
Is that the hardest thing to, like, you go through rehab and you're doing all this individual drill? Is that the one thing that's kind of hard to replicate when you're coming back from an injury like you have? Is that the toughness, the banging bodies, the rebounding? Is that the hardest piece to kind of get back?
Yeah, I guess you could say that because a lot of the time it's a lot of 1-on-0, not really going against bodies for most of the rehab. So that's a big piece getting back into it is just banging against bodies and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess so.
Brett, I asked Coach this. You get excited to play in games like Friday night. I mean, you and Simeon, top two scorers in the league, home game, trying to get to 2-0 in the league. I mean, do you get excited to play in these types of games?
Oh yeah, I get excited for every game actually. This tough opponents, I get excited for that. I love a challenge, so it'll be a fun game on Friday.
What kind of a challenge you got? How deep have you gotten into Kennesaw at this point?
I haven't gotten too deep. I'm gonna look today, more today, but we know they're a good opponent, and they always have been, so it'll be a good game.
You faced them 3 times last year. Obviously, the game in the semifinals in the tournament. What carryover can there be? I know they got a few similar players as far as like Simeon, Kyle, Brady, Blue, maybe a couple others. What carryover can there be from some of the games you guys had last year compared to this year, especially when they came in here and beat you guys on your own floor?
Just bring that physicality every game. Like don't let them bully us. Let's bully them. So I feel like last year we I wouldn't say we got bullied, but just bring that physicality to them first and not us. So.
What value for you, Brett, is there from Sunday's game at FIU where your scoring comes as both teams are kind of trading blows?
Well, I appreciate Zach, Colin, and Caden. They all give me open shots, and I just flow off them. And they want me to shoot the ball, so whenever they pass it to me, I know I probably should shoot it. So.
Is there a moment from the last meeting with Kennesaw at the conference tournament? I know you weren't on the floor, but is there a moment from that game that sticks out in your mind?
Caden Matheny just going crazy. That's what I remember. That's all I can remember for real.
I'll second that.
Coach talks about that. I think it was either commitment to rebounding or defense. Maybe it was both. But he talked about this team needing more of that. For you guys, where do you think the commitment to that piece, those two pieces are right now, and how can it be better?
Yeah, I think you can always improve, especially coming off last game. An emphasis on our cleanup today was rebounding and just playing defense, keeping them out the pack line. So, yeah, I mean, it's just deposits you make every single day, trying to get better. And I think, honestly, all of us can do better at that, and I'll say especially me. So just continuing to work at it every single day and get better and better every single game. Yeah.
Brett, a lot's been made kind of about your leap forward here. Going from the beginning of the season to now, how are you noticing teams maybe start to game plan up for you a little bit differently? Because coming into the season, you were coming from, 3 or 4 points a game last year to stepping in the starting lineup. So now you're about a dozen games in this year. How are you noticing teams and scouting reports kind of changing to kind of pick up on what you've been doing at the start of the year?
I could tell a big difference because at first they didn't really know I was a good shooter like that. But now I can tell teams are trying to run me off the line and see if I can create off the bounce and stuff like that. So I've seen that last game FIU, they're kind of running me off the line a little bit. So just trying to make plays off that.
Whenever teams are doing that, like you said, running you off the line, is it just trying to find Colin, trying to find Caden, just creating more opportunities for them maybe even goes through your head whenever you're noticing that in the game and you're starting to make that movement?
Well, just keeping the offense flowing. Just getting a paint touch to either hit Josh down low or just get a paint touch and kick it out to Caden or Colin for threes. It's really good for our offense. So just doing that.
How much of an emphasis for you and for the entire offense is ball movement with three shooters that can go off at any time? And I'd imagine the three-point line being something opposing teams try to guard.
Ball movement is a big part of our offense. It's not trying to be stagnant. Just keep on the ball moving and keep the defense moving too. Because if they're not moving, then we want a great shot every time, not just a good shot. So to get a great shot every time.
Coach was talking about how for you, he's always known you could score, but the biggest emphasis you need to take was on the other end of the court. Is that something that you kind of focused on some during the off season and maybe even continue to do so?
Oh yeah, coach was on me all season last year and then on the off season too, just on the defensive end. He knew the offense was gonna take care of itself, but he was just on me every day about that. So just working hard every day at practice last year to see it move on to this season, seeing it's a little paid off a little bit. So.
As for both of you guys, last couple games you've won both quality wins on the road, different types of games. What did you guys learn about yourselves, again, for both of you in those two games, you think?
I think we've learned that you got to come in with a sense of urgency and a focus every single day in the prep leading up to it. And I think that's something we can take, especially going into conference play, playing 2 games each week so we can kind of get into a rhythm and just try to use that momentum and learn from it. And, just continue to stack days going into each game.
Yeah, we knew going into Dayton it was going to be a packed house and, we couldn't just feed off their energy. We had to bring our own energy, like the FIU. It wasn't a packed house in there, so just bringing our own energy every game and just not relying on the fans too. So.
Josh made some big free throws, and everybody did really down the stretch. How valuable is that? You can shoot 1 million of them out there, in practice, but with the pressure on, how valuable is that even moving forward throughout the rest of the season, knowing that you can get to the line and close out games down the stretch?
Yeah, it's very valuable. I think we all know making free throws down the stretch is huge. It wins games, it loses games. It's something we've all been working on in practice, and obviously it is a little different out there with the pressure. But yeah, every one you make instills confidence for the next one, but also at the same time you try to have the mindset that each free throw kind of has a life of its own, and so not to worry about the last if you miss it or not. But yeah, it gives a little momentum going throughout the rest of the season.
This is a veteran team, so you guys have Caden, Colin, and all them to kind of lead the way. But after the little bit of a skid you hit there, including the NC State game and the early season tournament, to come back from that and beat Dayton and to have the conference win like you did in the way you did in overtime like that, how big of a confidence boost is that kind of going into, we mentioned Kennesaw and Jacksonville State, kind of 2 teams that were competing top of the conference USA last year. How big of a confidence boost is kind of just coming off those couple of wins that you have going into this weekend?
Yeah, I'll say it's a confidence boost, but at the same time, it's in the past. We're into a new season now with conference. I think we know what we can do and we know what we need to get better at, and we're just going to try and focus on that each day, just moving into the next few games and just take it day by day, game by game, and just improve each day.
Josh, Caden said after the game Sunday it was probably your best game. Do you agree with that? And what, you were plus 21 and the plus minus, what were some of the things you were able to bring?
Yeah, I think I was able to make a few hustle plays, especially down the stretch. Made some defensive plays, could have done better, but yeah, I'll say just some of the rebounding down the stretch helped a lot.
And for both y'all, you know how strenuous travel in this league is. It gets even tougher than what you've already gone through. A lot of these long trips. How important does that make it? Games like Friday, Sunday, trying to defend home court and take care of business here.
It's very important, traveling far out. It's very important to keep home court. We want to win at home. We don't want to lose at home. It's never good. So, yeah.